What's up, guys? This is your boy Gladiator. I'm here in my parents' basement. I just want to do a quick video because MicroStrategy just changed its name to Strategy, and they're going through a rebrand, and I think this is bullish, and I want to go over why. So I obviously read what Michael Saylor wrote about it, and it's just the natural evolution of MicroStrategy. So now it's just Strategy, and it's cool because when it's all said and done, MicroStrategy, well, I'm still getting used to calling it Strategy, is going to be the #1 company in the world because they're the first Bitcoin treasury company, and they were the first company that figured out that all they had to do was use their company to borrow money and use the equity and debt markets, I think is what it's called, to buy more Bitcoin. So that they figured it out, and so they basically turned this software company into a Bitcoin acquisition company where all they do is buy Bitcoin. So they borrow money more efficiently than you can to buy Bitcoin because they can do cool things because they're a publicly traded, massive publicly traded company. They can borrow money more efficiently than you can to buy more Bitcoin. So the Bitcoin per share is always increasing. And MicroStrategy figured that all out. And so they're rebranding to one, they're changing the name from MicroStrategy to Strategy. And I think there's a B on the logo or something to symbolize Bitcoin. So it's basically Bitcoin strategy, but yeah, it's called Strategy. And they're changing their color from red to orange, which obviously makes sense because Bitcoin is orange. So it's also funny because you think of the greatest companies ever, and you think, wow, if you want to become the biggest company in the world, you have to do something crazy. You have to send rockets to Mars. You have to create self-driving flying cars. And there are some companies like Tesla that are doing some amazing things, but when you really think about most companies in history that ended up becoming the most successful companies in the world, and you think of, say, Apple. Apple didn't actually do anything that crazy. They just created a phone. And then they sold it a bunch of times, and they changed it a little bit, and they just monetized that. So you don't actually have to do that thing. You don't have to do anything that crazy. You just have to think a little different than everyone else. And then you have to execute a very simple strategy. And that's what Strategy is. It's a company that figured out before everyone else that all they have to do is use their status as a publicly traded company to borrow money and buy more Bitcoin. And that's what they're doing. And over the last 5 years, they've become, I'm pretty sure, the most successful company the last 5 years. And they've outperformed just about everybody, if not everybody. So, and they just do it by a simple strategy. That's what's the funny thing. So everyone can complain that they're not actually doing anything that interesting. They're just borrowing money to buy Bitcoin. Yes, that's the whole point. It doesn't have to be complicated. Everyone can figure out what strategy is, and that's just to buy Bitcoin. And that's all you have to do because Bitcoin's the highest performing asset, and it's perfect money. And it's got the best store of value, and the hash rate's always increasing, and Bitcoin's going to hit 1 million soon, and then it's going to hit $10 million, and Bitcoin's going up for forever. And guess who's also going up for forever? Strategy, because they figured out that Bitcoin's going up forever, so they promised to always buy Bitcoin and never sell it, and that's the strategy. And yes, they have a little software business, but that's really not that relevant anymore. And that's part of what this rebrand is. It's no longer a software company. This is a Bitcoin acquisition company, which we already knew, but this just finally symbolizes it to future investors. Because when you talk to normal people about MicroStrategy, as it was formerly called, they still wonder about their software business. Well, yes, they have a software business, but this is really a Bitcoin acquisition company. And now that it's Strategy with an orange logo, it's very clear what the company is. This is the first Bitcoin treasury operation that's a publicly traded company, and they're going to be the #1 company in the world. And they did it doing something so simple, yet so different from every other company. And that's they figured out that all they had to do was buy Bitcoin, never sell it, and keep buying forever. And MicroStrategy is going to hit $10 trillion within the next 10 years, #1 company. And then in our lifetimes, it's going to hit $100 trillion market cap. And all Strategy had to do was buy Bitcoin. It's just that simple.